Does this make you feel insecure? If you turned up to a car commercial for Lexus with this camera, would you still be considered a real man? Are you a real filmmaker? And most of all, the big question on everybody's lips.
Hi everyone, today I'm here to talk about models and is it okay to touch them?
Would Matt Granger have got this close to an actual real woman if he was a Micro Four Thirds shooter?
You can even put little nipple covers on, that way neither of you need to be worried about it ending up in the shots accidentally.
Would you as a model enjoy Matt Granger all over you with a Micro Four Thirds camera with a tiny thimble of a lens on the front? Do you shoot with nipple covers? Have you ever shot and thought, it just needs something a bit extra, doesn't it? What can I do to improve this scene?
There's still a few things we can do to level up the shots. Do you want to grab the oil?
What the hell is he packing in his pants? What? Does he have a Sony 300mm f2.8 in one leg and a Nikon Z9 in the other? So the point I'm trying to make is clearly, do full-frame Sony and Nikon cameras make you more irresistible to women? Clearly Matt is a popular guy, but what about the average Micro Four Thirds shooter?
The big date and she's 45 minutes late. Great, I'm getting pitying smiles. Still, got the phone. You're never alone with a phone. Look at that, no calls.
But as Stanley Kubrick said, the longest queue is not always outside the best restaurant. And so it is with the Panasonic GH6, which really shows the full-frame fanboys in their true light. They only want one thing, a shallow depth of field. And it's become rather a stale chat-up line, hasn't it? What's a full-frame shooter's idea of classic cinema? Is it Jurassic Park? A Micro Four Thirds shooter's idea of classic cinema is perhaps Stalker by Tarkovsky, or perhaps A Clockwork Orange. So beware, girls, if you are approached by a Sony man who looks a bit like Philip Bloom stroking a pussy, run.
Can I help you with that?
Are you sure?
Absolutely. My lady is in distress, and I'm here to rescue her.
Thanks. They say chivalry's dead, but I think you're making a pretty strong case for its revival.
Well, I'm always ready to help a beautiful lady. I help the ugly ones as well, but I'd definitely say you're in the former camp. Where am I taking this?
Well, it's only a few streets away. I'm moving in with my boyfriend,
Fuck
Ian.
you.
Shallow, shallow, shallow depth of field versus a slightly less shallow depth of field. That is the subject of today's video. Now, on the right here, we have the Sony A7 Mark IV, which is very popular full-frame camera. And I've shot the last few YouTube episodes with this, which is why I had comments like this. Andrew, you're an authority on cameras and colour image, but you're really undermining your credibility by poorly lighting your videos. The light is extremely harsh and coming from below makes you look sick and demonic. Please find a new way to illuminate yourself, because people will think that you don't know good image quality. I have bought a few of your picture profiles and know otherwise. He is correct on the last point. It's all because of the Sony camera. Now I'm shooting exactly the same lighting setup with a few tweaks with the Panasonic S5 Mark II. And it's actually focused on my head, which is a first for Panasonic. In the 25 years I've been in this camera industry, it is focusing on me. And this is a huge leap forward for Panasonic. And what's more, it's a Canon lens on it as well through the Sigma MC21EF adapter. Great strides. So Panasonic, well done. You have the best colour science. This was shot on the GH4 and they got even better since then. I shot Susanna in the machine without any log profile or any kind of LUTs or anything like that. It's just perfect straight out the box. And it's just so much better than Sony. But everyone's going, oh, well, you need a full-frame Sony camera today, don't you really? You can't do anything with Micro Four Thirds. It's just too small. I completely disagree. And I'm coming to warm to the little GH6 and its tiny little lens. I also warm to the S1H as well. And I think the S5 Mark II, if you have that as well, for when you want focus on things, that is the perfect trinity of Panasonic cameras, isn't it? And it beats everything else. It thrashes Canon, it doesn't overheat, it's got the best colour signs, the best stabilisation, and this can be had second hand for £1,200 now, which astonishes me. It's like nobody wants to shoot Micro Four Thirds anymore, in case they get stood up on their date. Well, I actually think it's a really creative little camera. I love playing with the little small lenses. I love the speed boosters. I love putting all these different optics on it. In fact, it's got 300 frames a second in 1080p. It's got 4K at 120 frames a second for that price. It's amazing. It's got an Arri Alexa dual readout on the dual native ISO sensor to give you an HDR mode, a high dynamic range mode. It's an extraordinary little beast. It shoots 5.7K. It's got an anamorphic mode. It shoots open gate. It doesn't overheat. It's got a fan. It's got a huge high-resolution EVF. It's got a flip-out screen that's also a twizzle screen. It's like a little baby S1H. And that, for me, will get you laid.
Works really well is coconut oil in a can. It absorbs super easily. It actually leaves the model feeling really hydrated, better than baby oil or any of those kind of things.